you for tuning into the Sisters Talk podcast. I'm your host, Danny M. And today we have very special guest, Arthur Robin Cooper. And it is such an honor to have you on to the show today. Welcome to the Sisters Talk podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. So happy to talk with you this afternoon on this platform. It's so excited about it. Thank you again for having me.
Oh, most definitely. I took a look at your information, and my goodness, you do a lot. You know, you're an author, you're an entrepreneur, you're an investor, and I can't wait to dive right in and find out what all you do. And let's just start with the book that you have out. So you have a children's book out. It's called The Bird with No Wings. Is that right?
Yes, that's the title, The Bird with No Wings. And how I started with that, I think I'm always getting the question of how did you become a children's book author? And I have to be honest, I fell into it. It's like, okay, how did you fall into it? Honestly, one morning I was woken up by the Most High, and he gave me a story. He gave me a storyline. He gave me the title. He said, the title is going to be The Bird with No Wings. And I said, okay. And I'm asleep, but I'm hearing an inner voice. And he said, I said, okay. I said, if you want me to do this, you want me to publish this, because I have a personal relationship. I think we all should have a personal relationship with the Most High. And I talk to him like he's a friend, and which he is. And I said, okay, if you want me to do this, I need the beginning, I need the middle and the end to make it happen. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, the Most High gave me the storyline. I was fortunate enough to know an editor. I typed it all up in a PowerPoint slide, gave it to a friend of mine that is a editor. She hooked me up with an illustrator and a designer, and here we are. I'm a children's book author.
I love it. I love it. And thank you guys. Thanks to the audience for tuning in. Miss Kathy Tatum, thank you for being a religious supporter of the Sisters Talk podcast. I can't thank you enough. And that is amazing. That is amazing, Robin. You're doing it. Like, how does it feel, to be an author of a children's book?
I mean, it feels amazing. It feels good to actually have something that come to you as a thought or from the Most High, and actually have something tangible to show for it. I wanted to show you a glimpse of the book. It's a nice hardback book with beautiful illustrations, beautiful colors. Nice. And the kids love it. I've always been a lover of children. And to think that I am a children's book author is awesome. It's not one of the things that I had on my things to do list. Like I said, I fell into it, but it's a wonderful feeling. And I'm so glad that I have something tangible that I can share with the little ones that I love so much.
That is awesome. So what's your vision when you said that you woke up with this title? Which I think is very interesting that you started with the title. Most people write the book and then they're like, okay, what am I going to name this book? Like, what should the title be? So what was your vision for your children's book? I know that you kind of mentioned what the meaning of the title was, but what do you want the children to get out of it when they read it?
Well, what's interesting about the book is the premise of the book is letting kids know that they have everything that they need. They're talented. They have everything that they need to make it, to be successful. And the book depicts my kids. I have 3. I have my oldest son is 35. His name is AJ. My middle son is RJ. He's 24. And then my daughter is Jada. She's 20. So the book is about my kids. Aww. And it is. And the bird with no wings, his name is Tweety. So Tweety is the main character in the book, and that's my 24-year-old. Now, my son that's 35 and my daughter that's 20, those two knew from the beginning what they wanted to do in life. My oldest son, he always wanted to be a doctor, and that's what he is. He's a medical doctor. Yeah. My daughter Jada, she knew she wanted to go to be an engineer. She's a 3rd-year college student studying chemical engineering. And so, so they was like rock stars. They always knew what they wanted. But my middle son, the one in the book, Tweety, who the book is about, he's multi-talented. He has so many talents. but it took him a little while to find his way, and he's still trying to find his way. But this book lets him know and let kids know like him that may not be as fortunate as my other two to know what they want to do when they grow up, to let them know that they have everything that they need to succeed. All they have to do is use it. So at the end of the book, Tweety finds his wings and he takes off flying and he's doing great things.
Oh, that is so deep and adorable at the same time. I love that. How did your kids feel that to know that you wrote a book about them? Like, what was their initial like response?
With first they heard me talking about it. I told them about this dream, and I was like, okay, I'm going to write this book. But they're used to me saying I'm going to do something and do it.
Yeah.
I try to be a great role model for them, to let them know that anything that you put your mind to, that you can do it. And the book is a prime example to them that, oh, mom did what she said she was going to do, like she always do.
So it came to no surprise.
It came to no surprise, but I say, and my vision for the book is to make a series from it, because each one of the characters in the book, which depicts my kids, lets you know that you can do whatever you want to do. Like one of the characters is Diva. That's my daughter Jada, and she is a diva.
Right, I can imagine.
Yeah, she is a diva in real life, and she carries a mirror with her everywhere she goes. That's the little bird eating book, Diva. But the beauty comes from the inside, and that's what she teaches the world. And the other character in the book, my oldest son, Anthony, AJ, we call him AJ. He's called Go-Getter, because he's always been a go-getter, carry a book with him wherever he goes. So each one of the characters in the book, I can see it taken off for Tweety, intertwining with them as they venture on their journeys, like he's venturing on his journey.
Right. And I love the, first of all, phenomenal job with the direction of the book, to really kind of give these children hope. Life isn't always from point A to point B. Sometimes it takes you from A to Z and you go back through the alphabets in the reverse order, right? So
Correct.
Meaning you can have a career starting out, and then you may find yourself trying to figure yourself out at some point in life. So it's not always sometimes that we start out not knowing and then we fall into. Sometimes we start like knowing, but then something shakes that up. So now we're kind of like, oh no, what do we do? Where do I go? So I love that you're sending that message of redirection and purpose, and knowing that everything is right inside of you. You just have to figure out how to capitalize on it.
Exactly. And the kids, I've shared this book with over 600 kids, and they love it and they get it. I mean, they actually get the messaging from a 2-year-old to a 10-year-old.
Oh, wow.
they get it. I did readings to preschool kids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as young as 2. And at the end, I say, well, where was Tweety's wings? And that's in his pocket. So they get it. They understand. They say, Tweety is flying now. I say, yes, he is. And you can do the same. So it brings me joy to see the smiles on their face.
And there's so much you can do with this too. Like you can partner up with nonprofit organizations, with sister organizations that are doing things for that age group and preteens, have a whole event. So there's so much that can stem from this. So congratulations on being an author of such a purpose-driven book, I mean, just
yes, I'm so excited about where it's going to take me. And one of the little kids at one of my readings, he said, oh, I can see that into a movie. I was like, let's hope so. Let's hope that's on the big
right. I can too, seriously. And I can also see it on PBS, any of the children's stations. You can, create the series that you mentioned, put it on YouTube. So that way you have a YouTube series, or all these other platforms that you can put it out there and really, really get a global reach on that book, because everybody needs a piece of that.
Exactly.
And so, yeah.
And with technology being the way that it is, it provides a platform for me to be able to do everything that you noted. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, absolutely. And I am too. I want to buy this book. So I'm jumping to the end of the podcast type of questions. Where can we find this book? I'll ask you again.
Oh, no problem. You can go to Amazon. It's on Amazon right now. You can go order it under The Bird with No Wings and author Robin Cooper. It's available, and a lot of times they have it on sale. So definitely go out and get a copy for your collection, for your small one, or for some other person's small one. It's a
That's
great book to have
right.
around.
It's good for daycares. It's good for summertime if you want your little ones to start reading. I have a 3-year-old, so I'm getting a copy for sure.
But well, thank you. Well, yeah,
Absolutely.
he'll enjoy it. I read it to my nephew who was 3, and I mean, he caught on so fast. I was like, kids are not like they used to be.
No, they are ready for life. Okay. They come
They
out
are.
knowing who they are.
They are.
Absolutely. So you're also you own a magazine as well, in addition to being an author. Is that correct? Is that correct?
Yes, I am. I'm a publisher of the magazine Evolve the Spirit in You.
Mhm.
And this magazine, the premise of this magazine is we're always evolving. And I think you hinted to that earlier. Even though you may be at one place today, tomorrow you could be at another place. You're always evolving. You can be 20, 30, 40, or 50, but we're evolving to the best person that we can be. And the book also highlights small Black business owners, because advertising is so expensive. And so I provide them with a platform that they can broadcast their product to the masses at a reasonable price that they can that they can afford.
Love it. Love
And
it.
also, I like to highlight some of the small business owners, give them an opportunity to have a spotlight in the magazine. It's a hard copy as well as a digital version online. So it's
I appreciate the hard copy.
yeah,
Sometimes it took me a while to transition to reading books online because I was so used to, and I still sometimes have to have the physical book in my hand to really get into the reading. So
I,
I love the fact that you're printing the magazine.
I'm the same way. I need to have. I'm old school. I
Yeah,
want. It's good that I can look at it online, but I need something tangible. I need
that's
something
right.
to be able to hold, feel, look at. And the people that advertise in the publication, they like it too, because they can take it and show it to their friends. It can pass from your hands to my hands to another person's hands. So they
That's
like
right.
that tangible product.
I love that. I love that. So, what inspired you to create your magazine, and how long has it been in operation?
Oh, this magazine with the title being Evolve the Spirit in You. This magazine has evolved over time.
Okay,
It really has.
fair enough.
It went through several names, but
Okay.
we landed with Evolve the Spirit in You. It started with Right Stuff and Hair Design. That was about 25 years ago. I was a cosmetologist, and I've always been into promotion and marketing. So I used to market the cosmetologists that was local in my area, and gave them a way to showcase their hairstyles. It
Oh,
went from Right Stuff and Hair Design to Totally You. And Totally You was during the phase of I was all into myself. Everything about me that I thought I could share with the world, I put it in the magazine. And I have a copy of that. I wanted to show it to you. Can you see it?
yes. Bring it up closer. Totally you. Okay. All right.
And,
Yes.
and you can see this part of the different hair designs during that time.
Mm-hmm. I miss flipping through those type of magazines back in the day
You do
when
remember
you're
that?
waiting to get your hair done and you're
Yeah,
trying
do
to see
you
which.
remember that? We would
I
have
do.
those hairstyle magazines, and this book here started evolving into not only advertising for cosmetologists and barbers, but it also started hitting on different subjects that related to the Black community. Like,
Mm.
yeah, I started moving into the gun violence that was in the Black community,
Okay.
saving our Black boys. Also, I started talking about health and fitness with diabetes, how we should pay attention to what we eat. So the book started evolving, and then I landed with that Evolve the Spirit in You, because I saw the transformation of my book going from just advertising for barbers and cosmetologists to talking more about health and fitness and the Black community. So I landed with Evolve the Spirit in You. And just from that, from the beginning to where we are now, you see the transformation and the evolving into what the book landed at the moment. Now, it may change again, but right now, it's Evolve the Spirit in You.
Right. That's okay. But I definitely see the clear path that you've taken and how it's compounding. Your ideas have compounded into this great magazine that you have today. And I'm glad that you said what you said about you hit on issues in the Black community. That's something that we kind of tiptoe around or we sail over, or it becomes too touchy to talk about. So I like that you're dropping information and publications out there for people to really get in tune with the truth about what's happening in our communities. So thank
Exactly.
you for that.
Exactly. Because who better to tell our story than us? And
Right.
that's what I'm using the platform now to tell our story and also to help our people. Because, you know, I'm a Black woman and I love my community. So I want to feed as much knowledge as possible that I can to that community right now at whole.
Yeah, and I love that you're doing that because that is one main thing that our communities are lacking, and that's proper education, not in terms of degrees and all this. I mean, really understanding like the truth about ourselves, who we
Exactly.
are, and our capabilities. So again,
Exactly.
kudos to you for doing these
Thank you. Thank
amazing
you.
things for our community. We thank you in advance. And also, I wanted to ask you about your publication. You feature small businesses, but in addition to small businesses, do you feature any other companies or individuals? Have you in the past?
Well, the feature is the premise of the book is to provide a platform for small business owners. So it's not large corporations. It's mostly small business owners in your local community. It's
Got it.
your people who may have beauty salons. They may have clothing stores. They may sell jewelry. It's giving them an avenue to promote themselves in a way that's not as expensive.
Okay, understood. Okay. And so let me ask you, what was your most memorable moment working on one of your publications? Do you have
Well,
any moments that stood out?
I do. When I featured my son and his good friend, I think at the time he was 16,
Mhm.
and they both were 16 high school students. And I had both of them write an article about their dreams. And of course, his dream was about, hey, I would love to play basketball, but that's not realistic. I have a better chance of being a doctor. And
Mm.
and her dream was, I would love to be a supermodel, but I have a better chance of being a pharmacy. And to see these two now doing exactly what they set out to do when they were 16, they spoke about it. And
Wow.
now they're 35. She's a pharmacist, he's a doctor, they did it. And the key that they talked about was determination and perseverance. And so it's something that I can share with kids today. I can say, look, they were 16 when they said these things, and look at them now. They're 35, they did it. And like we mentioned earlier, it comes from hard work, dedication, doing the work. Nobody's going to hand it to you, but it comes from perseveration, determination. You can make it happen.
That's right. I again love that. Love that. We're going to get more into that too. So, also, in addition to being an author, also a publisher of your own magazine, you also invest,
I do. I do.
which is like something that everybody's trying to learn how to do now, right? Because back in the day, we left it up to a few people. They had the big money on Wall Street. Now, your average Joe, right, can buy stock
Exactly.
at their fingertips. So, could you tell us, like, when did you start your financial journey and what inspired you to do that? Obviously, the money.
Yeah, of course, of course. Okay. I started my financial journey about 10 years ago. I took a uh, stockbroker class. I took a class in the stock investments. And
Mhm.
from there, it was like a light bulb. I was like, oh, I've always thought investing stock was so hard. But from the class, I was like, this is something I can do. This is something that your average Joe can do. It doesn't take a rock scientist to be able to invest.
Look,
Now,
let's stop using average Joe. We need to say average Darrell so
yeah,
we can
that's right.
really tap in.
Exactly. Yeah, I grew up during a time where your parents would say, money don't grow on trees, money don't grow on trees, but they never taught us how to grow money. And
That's
so
true.
now, yeah, so now we're at a place now with the internet, with information being right at our fingertips, we can actually grow money. And you can grow money by investments. And it's not that hard. I mean, pay attention to what's going on around you. Be your best advocate for your money. If you see that, let's say we had a natural disaster, and they're going to have to rebuild. Okay,
Right.
well, it may let us think, okay, well, let me look at Lowe's and Home Depot because people are going to be buying stuff. Let me look at wood. Let me look at lumber. Those kind of things. So you can be your own advocate for your money.
Yes,
And
and I think that comes with saying you have to stay current with the current events and read.
exactly,
That's the thing. Like a lot of us, we get lost in the sauce. We're watching TV, we're watching movies, and it's okay to do that. But also tap into reality with your environment and all the changes that are happening. Because I like behind the scenes how you were mentioning with this whole, virus and everything going on. Think about the pharmaceutical companies, and you can invest in those, and I think that's always
exactly.
a good idea because we're always using medicines and things like that. So
Exactly. We have to keep up with current events like what we talked about behind the scenes is with everything had closed down. Now everything is trying to open back up. So what do people like to do? What do you like to do? Put it in a sense of what do I like to do? Okay, I like to go to the movies. Is the
right.
movies going to open back up? Let me check and see how that stock is. Let me Google it and see what kind of stock that I can Google. I mean, that's for movies. And then AMC pops up. Oh, let me try that stock. And I was one of the lucky ones that I got in on that big tidal
So
wave.
lucky. I wasn't even thinking about AMC.
Yeah, I got in on that tidal wave.
Yeah.
So and also get it with everything that's on at our fingertips is right there for us.
Yes.
It's investment groups that you can become involved with. I'm part of numerous investment groups, and they're always posting about different stocks and the up and coming thing. And it's for you to take that information and research it. See the history of it. You can go and see the history of that stock. Is that stock going up? Is that stock plummeting? That you even have people telling you when to get in, when to get out. So it's ready, available information. You can also use the money that you have with your job, like for example, your 401k. If you have your money in Fidelity, a lot of companies put their employees' money in Fidelity. Ask them about a brokerage account. Say, can I invest money? And if so, it's called a brokerage account. And use some of that money to invest. It doesn't take a lot. We think that we have to have a lot of money to invest, but not so.
Yes, that is a misconception, especially in certain areas for certain, income levels. A lot of people they're making what they're making in life financially, they're making it look good, but a lot of people are living on the edge every day, not just every paycheck. And so I think that important takeaway, especially for people who want to get into investment but they're afraid, you need to strategize and create a budget.
Exactly. Exactly.
Create a budget and find out how much you spend per week on everything, food, miscellaneous, and maybe reduce that miscellaneous spending so that you'll have a pot for your investment. Would you agree?
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, you need to save like people take 10% and give to the church or whatever organization they're in. Take 10% and give to yourself. Give yourself 10%. You don't have to spend that 10%. Put that 10% up until you get enough. You can invest with $100. Stocks could come in. You can get a stock at when Facebook came out on the market and it was available that you can purchase stock. Facebook started at $14. $14.
Mm-hmm.
And then Facebook now maybe about I think it's about $200 or $300. What if you
Mm-hmm.
got in with $100?
I'm
So
telling you.
it doesn't take a lot. Just
And don't make the mistake I made with Amazon because I was so sick. This was a few years back. And the stock and I'm extremely frugal. And I'm looking at the app and I'm like 250. I still remember. I was like 250. I'm not paying that for this for one share. And I just gotten the bonus.
Mhm.
Girl, a few years later, one share was 3,300 and something dollars. And I'm
I
like,
know. I know.
I said, man.
And I mean, what better way?
And we all knew Amazon was gonna blow. I mean, you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
But it's that little fear of, I don't know if I really want to do that. But look at it now. Look at where you would be now with that one stock. That
Don't
one
remind
stock.
me. Don't
You know?
remind me.
Well, you know what? You're not the only one. I did the same thing.
Ooh,
You know, I could have got in on Walmart when it was really cheap, and I thought about us, and but now I wish I had.
right, right. Yeah, I agree. I think once we eliminate the fear out of investing, and I think some people feel like, oh, I need to be an expert to do it. But it's like if you're using small amounts of money to invest in the stock market, then I mean, yeah, you could lose something, but it won't be a significant amount of money. Like you just said earlier, if they use $100, okay, if you can afford to lose $100, try it so you can understand how the system works. That's what I
E-
say.
Exactly. You know, it's everything. A stock market is a gamble, but if you leave your money there, more than likely you're going to win. I
Right,
don't, you know, every stock that I thought about getting or that I had and I sold today is worth triple the
right,
amount. So
right.
it can be a waiting game. It's not get rich quick. Sometimes it is, but
Sometimes, yeah.
but most of the time it's a waiting game.
Yeah,
It's a
I
waiting game.
definitely agree. And I really want to elaborate a little bit more on the fear because a lot of people are just like, I'm not investing because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm scared I'm going to lose all my money. And it's like, don't put all your money in there. Just start small. And I think once you eliminate that fear out of your mind and take out time to actually read articles, they have all this information out there on
Exactly.
how to download the app, what to do when you download the app, how to search for the different stocks. They give you the acronyms of the stocks, like
Exactly.
Doggy Coin is DOGE, for instance. They give you all of these acronyms so that you can go look it up. So it's all about self-research, being
It is.
patient with yourself and being able to take that risk.
And it's also people there to hold your hand as well. With Fidelity, they have people available just to explain the stocks, just to explain to you what a stop loss is. I started not, I took the class, but I didn't know everything that I needed to know. I learned as I went, and also I utilized the resources that Fidelity had available for me. I was asking, what is a stop loss? What is a limit amount? You can buy stock, and let's say if the stock is at $30 a share, and I'm going to buy me 100 shares, but I do not want to lose my $30. What I can do is put a stop loss. Say, okay, if it goes down to $28, sell it immediately. Those
Yes,
those are things that you can learn just by doing your research and also using the resources that Fidelity has available for you.
for
They,
free.
they want
One
you
phone call.
for free. They want you to invest your money, so they're going to give you all the tools necessary to help educate you. You don't have to
That's
do it
true.
alone.
Even with certain shares, they have changes with their investment strategies, where they're basically needing more funding for the company, and they'll let you know, hey, you want to get additional number of X number of shares. If you don't understand what the email is saying to you, give them a call at Fidelity. They literally, like you said, will break it down to you in a way that you can understand it, and then also ask you what options do you want to take. So
Exactly.
it
And
doesn't make sense to not do it, I guess.
right, I found myself, I utilize that resource a lot, and it has really been helpful. Teach you about mutual funds and bonds and um, different kind of stocks that you can buy. It's been very helpful, and I'm glad that I did it. I stepped out of fear, went for it, and I've been at it for about 10 years now.
I love that. Speaking of funds, what about people who have these 401ks? Like, can they roll over the 401ks or into something else that will grow more money than what it naturally would, inside of
Well, my
there's different companies out there, I
well,
guess.
my advice for a 401k is put your money in a Roth account, a Roth IRA account. And that account is so when you turn 59, you can get access that money and not have to pay a penny. You can access that money. Anyone that have small kids, you can access that money to pay for college, not have to pay a penny. So if you take anything from this podcast, get you a Roth account, RRA.
Love it.
Yep. So that's the number one thing. If you don't take away anything else, take that away.
During enrollment too, they always ask you, hey, do you want to roll over the 401ks or IRA or a portion of, or even when you do your income taxes, you have options to do it that way as well. So it's really good stuff. Don't touch it before 59 and a half though.
Exactly. And
Woo!
Yeah, get you a Roth account, and then you can take it at 59 and a half, and you can no penalties. And also, I just recently found out that you can take your HRA, your employees HRA, and you can use the monies that's in that to invest. But you have to set up an account called a direct HRA. Once you set that account up, you can have them transfer your employees HSA into that account, and you can use that money, those monies that set aside that your employee puts in there every year, you can use that to invest. And that's something that I recently found out about.
I didn't know it till you told me.
I just recently found out about that, and I will be doing that.
I know that's right.
Most definitely.
Guys, just listening in, make sure you take notes, because this is a lot of good information here. And if you have questions about investing, reach out to Arthur Robin Cooper. I'm pretty sure she will be available to help you. I'm sure you have some type of consulting or booking arrangement. We can talk about that more so towards the end of the podcast. People need to get these finances in order. All this extra money that you guys are getting from the government, you better make that money work for you. I'm telling you.
Exactly. You know, make your money work so you can enjoy it later.
That's right. That's like, you got to think about, and I actually was going to ask you this question. But first, I want to say that, do you teach children financial literacy as well?
Well, not at the moment, but I will be starting an organization called Helping Empower Little People. So it's called Help.
That's adorable. Wait. So you mean to tell me you're going to teach these little kids that are already smart? They already been here before. Now they're going to have more money than their parents. How are we going to control them now?
Yeah, I know, we're going to teach the little ones so they can help us out when we're in our 70s.
We're not 4-year-old millionaires walking around.
Exactly. That's what we hope to have, Yes. We would be so fortunate to have that.
That is so
it's all about giving kids the opportunity to explore, to learn about investment, learn about credit, learn about banking at an early age. You don't need to wait till they're high school seniors.
Right.
These kids are able to absorb so fast. So teach them about money, give them allowances. And that's what this organization is about. It's about helping educate them about the financial aspects of life, and also helping them see the world in a different light. If you show a kid something, then they can aspire to have. If they see nothing, then they can say they can't be anything, but show them.
That's right.
Give them exposure, take them to the museums, because some kids are not as fortunate as others, and we know that. That's reality. So my love is, and my mission is to take those underprivileged Black kids, show them, so they can know that they can just drive hope. It's like the book. The premise of the book is they have it, they're talented. Just let them know that they got it. They have everything that they need to succeed.
Activated.
And with a little help as a community, we can do that.
I love that. Ooh, this is good stuff. So where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
The next 5 years, I see this nonprofit organization just taking off. I see little pockets of it all over the United States. I see helping empower little people, little pockets all over. I see the book being a movie. I see a series of books. I see Tweety being a household name. I see Tweety being a role model, and I'm looking so forward to it. I
just love it. This is just the most adorable show I've done. But it's so empowering, and it's what we need for our communities. It really is. Keep doing what you do, but now it's time to get a little personal.
Okay, let's have it.
We talked about your businesses, and I want to know, what are your hobbies? What do you do for fun?
I love the beach. I love nature. I love you may find this funny, but I just love sitting out in my backyard, hearing the birds tweet, seeing the rabbits run across my yard, seeing the deers. And I also, my second thing that I love to do, I love to experience different restaurants, which is not so good because you can put on the weight. But I love adventure. I love new things. I love newness of new.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. And I don't think it's crazy because I do the same thing. I just don't have deers running in my backyard, but but I have everything else you can name or think of: skunks, possums. But anyway, enough about that. So, where can the listeners find your information? Again, let us know where we can find the book. Where can we find your publication of your magazine? And let us know, once you get everything off the ground with the financial literacy for the little people, let us know where to look out for that information.
Okay, everything is going to be housed as far as the where you can find the book. You of course now you can go to Amazon and order off Amazon The Bird with No Wings by Robin Cooper, and with the magazine is evolve the spirit in you.com, and there I'm going to house anything that I'm working on, the nonprofit organization for helping empower little people. Is going to be information there. So that's going to be the tool or the platform that I use to spearhead this all my endeavors. Is going to be placed on that online digital magazine, as well as it's going to be in the magazine as well.
Okay. Do you see yourself hitting on any heavy topics like, the racial,
Oh yes.
yeah, disparities that we see in this nation, including the biased hiring system that we have. Even though, yes, we do fulfill the EEOC, but there's more Black women that's getting opportunities than there are Black men. And then we were talking a little bit about this as well, that a lot of our Black men are less motivated to really go hard because of the lack of resources and opportunities that are available to them. Do you
Yeah.
plan on touching on these topics?
Definitely. That is so dear to my heart. Racial disparities in the Black community, the way that society has set it up, that basically making the Black woman the head of the family, and not giving the Black men as many opportunities as the Black woman has. I know that you know Black women, we always had to do because we was put in the forefront. Then you can go all the way back to the 60s, where you couldn't have a man in your house if you for assistance. Now, what kind of mess is that to break up the Black family? That's it's systematically
Yes.
designed to make the Black man feel less than. So definitely we'll be talking about that in the book. It's going to get, I mean, in my magazine, online, the digital version as well as the printed version. It's going to be one of the center points right now, because we need to educate our kids. Because right now with this George Floyd, what happened with George Floyd, this was the first time that my kids really got a chance to see racism. I mean, they hear about it, but they never saw it until then. It made them see their Blackness, because my son went to a predominantly white school. My daughter goes to a predominantly white school, so they think everybody loves one another. They didn't have, and this was a awakening, and even for the little ones. I mean, you take 3-year-olds that can understand what happened, and that was wrong.
Right.
So, I'm definitely going to use
I mean, and then to see that the one who committed the crime only got 22.5, years. It's like, that's not good enough.
No, it's not. It's injustice, and now we have things that we can point to. I mean, with everyone being able to video different incidents, we can see it live, like we were able to see that, and use those moments as educational moments for our kids to say, this is the way society is, and this is what you have to do to combat that.
That's right.
Know who you are, but advocate for yourself. But these are the rules. This is something called white privilege, and this is how it works, and this is how you have to work around it to get where you're supposed to be.
This is what it looks like, and it's a heavy topic to discuss, but it's a reality that Black people live every day. And we're all in this great nation together. So we have to be conscious and aware and stop turning a blind eye to the obvious. We've done this for far too long. Even within our own communities, we are turning blind eyes to the obvious situation and problem that we've been having for hundreds and hundreds of years. So it's time to speak in truth, be direct, and be honest with ourselves. And also it's time for our allies to be honest and truthful about what's going on as well, and truly be supportive, by sharing, platforms like mine, like many others that I'm friends with, like your businesses that we mentioned today. Go out and support Arthur Robin Cooper from any race. It doesn't. It's not just about Black people supporting Black people. We need everybody to support us. We have been at the bottom of the totem pole. No matter if we have a few millionaires or a couple of billionaires out of the Black race, we've been doing all the work. Let's be honest and let's be real. We've done all the footwork. We've laid out all the blueprints, and everybody else has benefited from that. So it's time for us to get honest. It's time to get dirty, and let's be real about it. If we don't change our behavior, if we don't stop killing each other, if we don't stop allowing other people to kill us, we're talking about Black on Black crime. It's white on Black crime. Can we talk? Exactly. Can we hashtag that? Exactly. So until we start getting our act together, we'll continue to see these plagues. We'll continue to see all these atrocities that are happening because it's just a mirroring effect of how we're treating each other. And I don't think people are clear about that yet.
Yeah, but, and a lot of times, when you talk about racial injustice and you talk about police brutality against the Black community, and the first thing that someone wants to say is, well, what about Black on Black crime? But reality is people commit crime in the vicinity of who they're near.
That's correct.
So Black on Black crime is going to happen in the Black community because we're in the Black community. We're in the vicinity of.
Exactly.
And that's my comeback. We're going to commit the crime in the area and the vicinity of who we're in contact with. And we're in contact with each other. That doesn't justify police brutality or being stereotyped a certain way that you're a criminal just because of your skin.
That's right. I've seen countless videos of Black men being harassed for simply walking on the sidewalk. We're in a community that they live in. It's not like they don't belong in the community. They have homes there, and we're working hard to move into the nice places and spaces that we want to encompass. We don't want to be bothered with the nonsense. This is pure nonsense. So I'm asking nicely on my show that you leave my Black men alone. And I mean that. So enough is enough.
And I'm with you 100. I agree with you totally. This is the opportunity, and I'm going to say it too. Leave our Black men alone, please.
T-shirts, because this is crazy. Like, if you can pass an anti-Asian hate law, then you can pass a law that's going to protect our Black men when they get in the car to go to the store or, to go to work or wherever it is that they're trying to go without being harassed. Leave our Black men alone.
Exactly. And not only the Black men, but the Black women as well.
There you go.
Let us live in this land of the free, which we say is the land of the free, and let us have the same opportunities that's bestowed upon you.
And remove that EEOC questionnaire because you guys are only using that to discriminate on who you want to hire.
Exactly.
Stop it. Like I'm tired of it. We need to vote that out since we're creating laws and making bills. And don't get me wrong and don't twist my words or misconstrue what my message is. I am for the anti-Asian hate bill completely because my whole point is we shouldn't be hating anybody. Exactly. We shouldn't be hurting anyone. All these terroristic behavior within our country is coming from the very people that are trying to create the law. It makes no sense. All of these acts are just evil and asinine. And if we don't stop, again, like I said, the plagues won't stop. We thought we saw something in 2020.
Right. And we have to get out and vote. We have shown that our vote count. It counted in Georgia. It counted in this election. For Biden being president, our vote counts. Our forefathers died for us to have an opportunity to vote. And this is a second point to take. If you don't take anything else from this podcast, utilize your vote. Vote. Vote gives us the opportunity to be where we are right now, having this podcast, talking with you. The opportunity for me to publish a book, have the magazine. Our voting.
That's right.
Provided us for a lot of things, and we have to make sure that we utilize it.
I agree 100%. And don't be afraid to exercise your voice. I think a lot of us, we live in fear. That's the reason why we're not trading stocks. That's the reason why we're not capitalizing on our talents. That's the reason why we're not speaking up when we see something wrong happening. And that's the reason why this wrongness continues to brew and live. So until we start speaking up and remembering who we are, the same negative patterns are gonna exist. Exactly. Not just for us, but for our children and our children's children. So The time is now. I know y'all heard this all the time, but seriously, I hope that it's received consciously this time, because now we can see physical evidence that things are not getting better. We're advancing
Exactly.
in technology. We're not advancing in the way that we treat each other. And it has to
Exactly.
be a direct correlation. So I want to thank you so much, Arthur Robin, for being a guest on my show today. You are definitely a wealth of knowledge, and I am honored to have interviewed today. I've had many people on the show, but to have an investor, a real one that knows exactly what they're talking about and teaching us different ways and techniques to utilize our pre-existing funds, I mean, that says a lot. You know, there's a lot of people right now, they feel like they're broke. They have this 401k that can be utilized to turn it, one day it could turn them into a millionaire, you know, if they
Exactly.
strategize the right way. So if you guys that are listening in, or if you share this video, make sure you reach out to Arthur Robin Cooper. And also, I wanted to ask you, do you have any closing words for this segment
I
today?
do. I do. I'm so glad that you came back to me so I can. I want to coin this. I want everyone that's on this podcast, especially our Black brothers and sisters, to know, and you can coin this: our Blackness is genius. That's the one thing I want to leave you with. Our Blackness is genius.
I love it. I love it. You know, I'm going to talk again after that, right? I'm not going to let y'all go. So I also want to say that's a good point. I want the whole entire world to be fair in their assessment when Black people speak about our awesomeness and how excellent we are, and you not get offended. I don't care if you get offended either way personally, but I have noticed that anytime we talk about the great things that we're accomplishing and the things that we're doing, people get offended and they say, why does it always have to be about Black? But why does it always have to be about everybody else and not Black people? Right?
Exactly.
So, go ahead. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying something. I was going to say there can't be this complete double standard each and every time we bring up anything that we want to discuss to praise what, you know, the value of what we're producing or what we're doing. So I hope that that message echoes clear to the listeners and the people that you share with. And don't just share it within the Black community, share it with the white community, the Asian community, the Arabic community. Share it with everybody. So that way, and I've always said that on this show, even back as far back as 2019, when we start understanding each other and our cultures and our differences, and we start embracing it, and first and foremost, respecting each other, then I think we can see the value in each other. But until we do that, we'll keep bickering, we'll keep fighting, and we'll keep killing innocent people, all because of what? All because of hate and all because of greed. So
Exactly.
I'll stop preaching now. But
That was good.
yes, I'm just telling you, it's just all this nonsense. But anyway, I want to thank the audience for tuning in to the show today. We're going to have our next show on July the 11th. I'm going to have Miss Karen Scott on, and we're going to talk about practicing wellness. So I think we're talking about inner and outer wellness. And so, listen, it's summertime. Everybody's trying to lose weight and get fit and eat right. So this will be a good segment right after July 4th, after you stuff yourself with ribs, potatoes, and everything else. So we'll see you next time on July 11th. I hope you guys have a blessed Sunday, and thank you so much for tuning into the Sister Talk podcast. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.